What's up, y'all? It's Dr. Paul with another mail call. This one is a big Silver Age key from my personal collection that I've been trying to acquire for a long time, and I've finally been able to because of the sell-off that we have in all asset classes right now. Before I get into opening it, I want to point something out. For the people that love to hate on the U.S. Postal Service, this is UPS. They clearly damaged this box. Hopefully comic's fine, but all of the companies make mistakes. All of them have bad customer service occasionally. All of them have bad handling practices occasionally. They are, after all, just staffed with humans, and humans are imperfect. My personal experience has been, I'd rather deal with the USPS generally, and I'd rather support them generally. I've used all of them. They all have their flaws. But anyway, enough about that. So what is the book here? This is an eBay purchase. It looks like it was pretty reasonably packed by the seller. I appreciate that. Well protected here. I'm just coming up with a game plan for cutting this in some foam core. I can see the comic book, so I know I'm not anywhere near it when I do this. I would not cut blindly in here. I wonder if I can just, if it's taped down or not. Let's go ahead and cut all this tape first, and then we'll find out. So I was thinking I would hold off telling you what the book is so I can do a bit of a reveal. Let's see if that works out. I think it is going to work out. All right. So what is the book? It's Tales of Suspense number 45 from 1963. This is a really important book, and I'm thrilled to have it, and I'm thrilled to have such a nice copy of it. So, what is it and why do we care? Tales of Suspense 1963, number 45. This is only the 7th appearance of Iron Man. It is the first appearance of the villain Jack Frost, who later becomes known as Blizzard. It is also the first appearance of Happy Hogan, and most importantly, Virginia Potts, who we know as Pepper. She actually starts off as a brunette. A couple issues in, they decide she's more interesting as a redhead. I guess she was based on a real life person, and they thought that the resemblance was a bit too uncanny as a brunette, so they changed her to a redhead. What's interesting about this book, for me, is that it completes Tony's, Iron Man's love triangle, right? So Stan was fond of creating love triangles in all the books. In Thor, you had like a classic Superman, Clark, Lois Lane love triangle, because you had Thor, Don Blake, and Jane Foster. And Jane actually kind of has feelings for both Thor and Don Blake, and Don Blake is unsure of himself, and Thor can't have a relationship with her. So it's not exactly like Superman, Clark, and Lois, but it's pretty similar. As we know, Peter Parker is always in a love triangle. Right from the beginning, he's actually in a male-male-female triangle. And then the most classic one he's in is like an Archie, Betty, and Veronica triangle. And we know how that goes. In the FF, he had Reed, Sue, and the Submariner. So here's the love triangle, finally introduced in the 7th issue of Iron Man appearing in Tales of Suspense. So obviously first appearance is in 39. So this is Iron Man's 7th appearance. And this triangle goes on for many years. Spoiler alert, in the comics, Pepper actually ends up with Happy. They move away. They adopt kids. I would like to say live happily ever after, but they don't. Pepper cheats on them. They get back together. Eventually, Happy dies a heroic but sad death where he's actually unplugged from life support. And I guess that clears the way for Tony, because then Tony and Pepper end up together. So not sure if Tony ever adopted their adopted kids. At any rate, significant book, valuable book, difficult book in grade. So there are only about 500 of these in the census total. The median grade is about a 5.0. This was advertised as a 6, and I think it's pretty close to that. I certainly wouldn't argue with the grader too much. I might place this more like a 5.5. It doesn't have too many pressable defects. This back cover could be cleaned up for sure, and these dust shadows could be dealt with that would take some wet cleaning rather than just dry cleaning. Paper seems to be in pretty good shape. And again, I think I certainly wouldn't argue with the seller here on the 6.0 assessment. So a 6.0, if in fact you could achieve that with this as a slabbed book. A CGC 6.0 has a fair market value of about $1,200. And due to the recent sell-off, and of course the fact that it's a raw, so I'm taking some risk with that in terms of whether or not it would really grade as a 6, and also whether or not there's maybe some hidden restoration or something else. But at any rate, I paid all in for this book $460. That includes shipping, taxes, and everything. For a book that has the potential of $1,200 in a slab, to me, you know, this is less than half of what its potential worth is. I would have to invest another, say, $35 or $40 to get it slabbed. I would obviously want to put some time into it to clean it, maybe whiten it, maybe wet clean it, depending. But this is for my PC, so this is going to stay raw. And I'm going to read it, I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm really happy. Tales of Suspense is one of the series that I tried, I started about 20 years ago trying to complete. So with this acquisition, I think I'm down to just the big book, just number 39. So for a number of reasons, really pleased with this purchase. As I said, it's very tough in grade. So I'm really happy with this raw copy that's going to be, you know, somewhere around a 5.5 or a 6. So at any rate, I hope you guys enjoy the hunt as much as I do. I hope you're finding stuff like this. I hope you're making acquisitions now while the market is down and things have become essentially on sale for half off or more than half off in some cases. And as always, take care of one another. See you soon.